And we are live. And I mean, we are live tonight. And I have no idea what's going to happen on this episode of the show. Because there's a guy with glasses tonight. And I don't mean sunglasses, he's got reading glasses. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to owe him an apology tonight. But the K&K Sports Show, I'll start it off. We'll go around the panel. And you know what? I got to just start right off with the main guy. Mr. Siciliano, I know how you were doing on Saturday, but how are you doing tonight, my friend?
You know me, always steady. And for all the non-sayers out there, keep it coming, baby. I love it. I love it.
Mr. Beelan, how are you?
Doing good. It's Wednesday. Happy hump day. Couple more days till the big showdown. Let's go. I'm going to try to get a big smile on Sis's face this weekend.
And Eddie Murphy saying, you have Johnny on the show, you never know what's going to happen. So I want to give a shout out to Eddie because he's one of our great listeners. And I believe today's his mom's birthday in heaven. So happy heavenly birthday, Mrs. Murphy.
Happy birthday, Mrs.
Happy
Murphy.
birthday.
I want to give a shout out. I saw that today. Joey Clams, how are you?
Sonny, I got some beautiful veal chops and I got some nice linguine fute de mare. I'm doing good.
All right. And Mr. Kirkpatrick, how are you?
I don't know how I can top that. I don't think they know what that even is down here in Maryland. I'm doing
Well,
well.
teach them.
Everything is
Put
topped with
mayonnaise,
crab
put
meat down
mayonnaise
here.
on it. They'll figure it out.
There you go.
Everything's topped with crab meat down here. So
That's
Eddie?
great.
Eddie's saying thank you, appreciate it, no problem, Eddie. All right, so I'm just gonna get. Do you want me to go quick hitters, Kenny, or can I start something off? What do you want me to do? Quick hitters?
you run it.
All right,
I'll give you the opportunity.
let's
Let's get the Broncos stuff out of the way because
No,
wants to hear about
no
that.
Broncos stuff. I got definitely. That's
we say
disgusting.
Broncos for later because no one wants to hear.
Yeah,
that.
no one wants
That's
to hear
later.
that. Let's start with quick hitters. All right, we'll start with quick hitters. Here we go. Today, news broke. Russell Wilson will give up his no trade clause for 3 teams: the New Orleans Saints, Kenny's New York Giants, and my Denver Broncos. Starting with Mr. Beelan, where will Russell Wilson play in 2022?
His best chance of playing, his best chance of odds right now is the Giants because they have the salary cap. The Broncos and the Saints would have to do a decent amount of moves to get him with his salary over there.
So your pick is where?
I'm gonna go with the Saints.
Okay.
Slightly over the Broncos.
Joey Clams, where will Russell Wilson be taking snaps next year?
Well, I think it's going to be the Giants because they got 2 number 1 draft picks in the top, probably in the top 10 picks, and Seattle has got to get their draft pick back because they traded it to the Jets for
Jamal Adams.
for Adams. Yeah, so I think the sweet of the pot is the Giants.
Okay. Sis, where will Russell Wilson be next year?
New York Giants.
Mr. Kirkpatrick.
I'm with Beelan. I think it's going to be the Saints, Kurt.
Okay.
But don't count the Giants out because they got, like Clam said, the most intriguing package there. And price has to be right for Russell Wilson, though. Price has to be right.
And just real quick, not to go in the quick hitters, but the other thing I have is Russell Wilson's that one type of guy where the franchise will listen to him, and I think they will allow him to go where he wants to go.
And another thing too, his wife has got a lot to say in this, and
She does.
she wants to be in the spotlight. So New York City, northern New Jersey.
Well, we will see. But that was good. A little breaking news during the football season. All right, second thing. Bill Belichick started this season 40-1 to win Coach of the Year. He is now the favorite. Is Bill Belichick the Coach of the Year, sis?
Hands down.
Kenny.
I'm going to say right now, yes.
Joey.
I think he is. He's, you know what it is? The only thing that's going to hurt him is that he's the best coach of all time. So they might say, we already know what you are. They might give it to somebody else, but he is doing the best job.
Beelan, Coach of the Year, Belichick?
I don't know about hands down, but I mean, you got to give it to Kingsbury though too.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
That's a
Going to college football. My boy, Mr. Brent Venables, best defensive coordinator. I'm not going to say Nick Saban because he's a head coach, but he's the best defensive coordinator in football. He is now the head coach at Oklahoma. Sis, will Mr. Venables make Oklahoma a defensive football team? Yes or no?
Yeah, absolutely. That's his specialty.
Beelan,
I mean, without seeing what he's going to do, for right now, I'll say yes.
Joey,
yeah. He's going to make them a better defensive team, and Oklahoma is always good. They always get players. It's Oklahoma. They are gonna be a team to reckon with.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny,
I agree with everybody. I think he makes them a defensive team for sure.
okay. Damian Lillard, again, they fired the general manager in Portland. There's talk, again, he's going to start getting unhappy. Obviously, there's rumors Stephen A. Smith said the two teams to watch are Philly and the Knicks, and his preference would be the Knicks. My question to you, Kenny, I'll start with this. Who would be the one hardest player you would try to hold on to that you would not want to trade in a Damian Lillard trade?
I'm going to say Julius Randle. I know he's sort of off to a slow start, but I'm going to say Julius Randle.
Beelan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still not sold on RJ Barrett. He's not consistent.
Me neither.
Okay,
You know?
Joey Clams.
Randall's consistent.
Joey, who's the?
You know what? These two gentlemen just made a great point. You might lose both of them. You might have to put both of them in the package.
Right.
You're not going to get this guy for nothing.
But who would the toughest one be for you? The one toughest one.
I think it'll be RJ Barrett.
I'm going to go with you. I think RJ Barrett too. Sis, who would be the toughest one for you to trade?
Kazi Russell.
There you go.
RJ Barrett.
Okay.
People don't even know who Kazi Russell is.
Speedy recovery, CJ McCollum, by the way. Collapsed lung.
Yeah. Gonzaga lost again to Alabama this weekend. They went Bama this weekend. Sis, is Gonzaga better than last year, worse than last year, or the same as last year?
Truthfully, I think it's too early to say, so I'm going to just say they're the same as last year.
Beelan.
Yeah, agree. I think it's a little too early. And honestly, in college basketball, man, losing 5 games is nothing.
Joey.
Yeah, I'm going to say the same because, they lost the point guard. So now it's going to take, a little time to get comfortable. It's a long season in college basketball. You're feeling each other out. Mm-hmm. You got a chance.
Kenny, you too?
Same, and I think it's as crazy as it sounds to have a couple losses like this. That might be, they get hot later in the season. This could be Gonzaga's year.
Great point.
And Kurt, they're not losing to bad teams either.
Oh, no, they lost to Duke,
and Alabama,
Bama.
which are top 10 ranked teams currently right now. So
you know what? I know we're going to do in the upcoming weeks of college basketball. We're going to start getting into college basketball. This is Alabama. I think that's a sleeper team this year in college basketball for a championship in basketball too.
All right, this question, I know Mr. Beelan had to sit there and say, Kurt was right on Monday night, man. Just Kurt was right. And I'm going to ask him again, and he's going to be on the air. And I'm going to start with Kenny first. We watched a game Monday night, a team throw the ball 3 times in the NFL. 3 times. And that team won. So my question is, right now, if you could have your team and you're building a championship team, you want to win a Super Bowl, you could either be A, run the ball and play defense, or B, you'll throw it all over the yard and just try to beat people 48-41. Kenny, which one are you picking?
I'm taking running defense, Kurt. I mean, that's how we won our Super Bowls with the Giants. So give me defense first, and then give me a strong running game.
Mr. Sis.
Obviously, Monday night, the weather had a great deal to do with Matt Jones throwing the ball 3 times. I agree with Kenny. This time of the year, if you don't have a running game and you don't have a defense, you wouldn't even make the playoffs.
Mr. Beelan, are you going to agree tonight and say run the ball, play defense?
Nope. And my prime example is the Chiefs 2.5 years ago when they were down by 3 touchdowns and they came back. And the only reason why they came back is because it was the running gun, shooting the ball down the field, and played absolutely no defense, and they won the game.
Mr. Joey Clams.
Yeah, well, they were down, so they had to throw the ball. They had no choice. But this is not fantasy football. This is the NFL. Pound and ground and pound and bleed the clock.
That's
and what a
it.
job by Bill Belichick the other night. And there's a Buffalo team. They might not even make the playoffs.
Nope,
You
and
play up
we
in
all-
Buffalo.
we all-
And
Okay,
Kurt,
good.
look at this. I don't know if you remember this though too. I think the year prior to the Chiefs was the Falcons and the Patriots when Tom Brady came back 28-3.
No,
Throwing
it
the
was
ball
13.
down the
Kurt,
thing.
can I bring up
It was Rams Patriots.
Can I bring up a
Low
point,
scoring.
Kurt, real quick before the next question?
Yeah.
I agree with what John is saying. If you're and I had this conversation with Sis yesterday, if you're in a warm weather stadium or a dome, because we all saw Buffalo, Green Bay in the winter. I know you got Aaron Rodgers, but you still got a strong running game there in Green Bay if you got bad weather. Chicago, these cold weather teams, you need a running game. And Buffalo, like Clam said, may not even make the playoffs because
Terrible.
it's crazy. Buffalo would be better on the road. And I think I said this to you, Kurt, or Sis as well. Buffalo would be better on the road in the playoffs than being at home.
But you
As
know
crazy
what?
as
That's
that sounds.
shame on Buffalo because
Absolutely.
they're doing it the wrong way. You know, we're watching these games. It's so mind-boggling. Where,
Kurt, this is what it is. Not to cut you off. This is what it is, and this is what a lot of teams have.
by the
issues
way,
with.
real quick, Beelan, Mark Calderio's checking in. What's going on,
What
Mark?
up, Mark? This is the thing. What a lot of teams have. When you pay a quarterback over $100-something million for a couple of years, you have no money to invest in other stuff, and that's what's going to happen with all the other teams. Luckily, there's only maybe two teams that have a quarterback that's getting paid $30 million plus and actually has a running back. Everybody else has nobody.
Wait, who doesn't have a wait? Do the
Mahomes doesn't have a running back.
Well, but I think they do. They drafted a first-round running back. They drafted a
And
first-round running back.
he's horrible.
Well, they don't
He's
run
horrible.
but they don't run the ball.
You tell me Clyde Edwards-Helaire is good?
Listen, they don't
Trash.
run, but they don't run the ball. They're
doesn't-
basically. I told you, what the Chiefs do is teams play poker with them and say you're not going to run it, and they don't run it. Just run it. They're giving you 4 yards. The Chiefs want to score. Just like listen, Denver's quarterback was terrible, and Denver's in that game. Why? Because their defense stayed back, give you 4, give you 6. The Chiefs don't want to do it. It's dumb. It's going to cost them.
And they ran
it's
the
going to
ball.
cost them.
I just don't think these teams you can't have your cake and eat it too. It's very, very
Wait a minute. Who's the
hard.
Patriots running back?
Leonard Fournette, but they got
No,
Leonard Fournette.
Patriots. He's a good.
Stevenson or Adams or whatever.
He's a
Listen,
good back.
Huh?
They're good backs.
No, they're not. But they're the Patriots aren't playing only at a good pace right now. But I mean, honestly, I don't think the Patriots are going to go super deep. I really don't. I don't see them. I think this is something that they're playing really well. They're catching teams on a little bad streaks here and there, but the teams that have like Leonard Fournette doesn't get paid any money. He's probably getting paid like $700,000.
I know one guy who does. That's
you know,
Zeke
like-
Elliott. Zeke Elliott gets paid. All right, my last one, sis. Stephen Waldman saying hello. What's
Up,
going
Steve?
on, Steve?
What's up, Steve?
Steve's
Hey,
saying the 3 passing attempts are the fewest in Patriots history, while the 2 completions match their fewest, according to ESPN Stats and Information Research. The 3 pass attempts were the fewest by any team since the Bills attempted just 2 in Week 3 of the '74 season versus the New York Jets.
But like what Sis said, I mean, they had 26-mile-per-hour winds to start it, and then it went up to like 40. And the Patriots, the whole first half, they were throwing into the wind. So why would you even throw the ball? It's smart.
But it comes down to this, Beelan, and you could take it from any level you want. The Patriots basically just told Buffalo straight up,
Yeah.
we're running the ball.
Yeah.
They can't stop it. The Bills said we're running the ball, and they can't do it. You have to run the ball, like Sis said. In this weather,
they don't have a running
you
back.
have to run the ball.
They don't have a
End of
running
story.
back.
You
Zach
have to run the
Moss
ball.
is not a running back.
All right. My next question is my last one. Sis, does the lockout make you even want to watch baseball less this year?
Truthfully, I could care less about baseball right now, if that answers your question.
Beelan.
I don't know if it does.
I mean, I'm with Sis, but to piggyback off of it, I don't like Tony Clark, and I don't like unions. I think they're bad for the players. I really do.
Joey Clams.
No. Once the season starts, I'm right in there. I'm dug in. I'm a big baseball fan. I mean, I hate the way the game is played. I hate the way the way it's going with the analytics and the small ball not being there. But when it kicks in, I'm right there.
And Mr. Kirkpatrick.
For the show, I'll do my research on baseball, but I'm done. Joe, all due respect. I mean this in the nicest way possible, but you said you're a baseball guy, and I'm a baseball guy too. But if we keep allowing ourselves to go and watch the baseball games live, watch the baseball on TV, give them all the ratings, you're going to keep seeing this. You're going to keep seeing it, and it's got to come to a stop. I mean,
I hear what you're saying, and I'm with you too. I'm going to the games. My daughters, they went to the game last year. Red Sox Yankees, $100 a ticket. They spent $100 buying food, and the game got canceled, and they were already in the stadium.
I remember that game.
yeah.
Because you're paying all these players like $300 million.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to get the money somehow. So, unfortunately, it's a demand, and people will go though. That's the thing, At the end of the day, they'll go.
You're right. Beelan, Eddie Murphy saying John misses baseball. He wants to see that banner go up. So
Yeah, banner's going up, and I can't wait until we S on the Mets, and I can't wait till Scherzer and DeGrom are on the DL by June.
all right, so let's get into this. So there's the quick hitters. Now I want to give the floor to Mr. Siciliano because there's Paul Rosen. He'll be chiming in a little bit. He said it's hard to care about billionaires versus millionaires. But here's where I want to say this, okay? I'm an SEC guy. Obviously, Sis is an SEC guy. And there's three guys on this panel, Mr. Clams, Mr. Beelan, and Mr. Kirkpatrick, who were singing the praises for Cincinnati. And you know what? Here's the deal. When it was September and October and even in November, you guys were Cincy. But you always had in the back of your mind, you knew they were going to win, right? SMU, Navy, Tulsa. You had nothing to worry about. We heard, who's Alabama's win? The SEC's overrated. This team's no good. But what you wanted, guys, you got. And you know what? There's no more running. December 31st, you're not playing Tulsa. You're not playing Navy. You're not playing Houston. You're playing Alabama. And I'm going to say this right now because we have little wagers going on. It's not about they're going to cover the 14. We don't care about that. 4 teams are in the playoffs. Mark just said Big Ten. Michigan, Georgia, Alabama. All 3 of those teams, their expectations are to win the national title.
Okay.
And Cincinnati's has to be. Because if they don't, they fail.
Let him finish.
Let me finish. So I don't want to hear, okay, well, they were down 35-3 and they made it 35-2. I don't want to hear that. If this game is a blowout, if this game isn't a 1-score game in that fourth quarter, you guys should all come on and say, I was wrong. This team did not belong in here, and if they're not a Power 5 team, should not be in this tournament. Because what's going to happen to Cincinnati is going to be an absolute embarrassment. Alabama is going to woodshed this team left and right. Because you guys thought you were going to get Michigan, or you didn't think you were going to get Alabama. You guys got Alabama.
You direct the order.
So
Let's
I'm
do this
going to go
one
to
at a
Mr.
time.
I'm going to go to Mr. Sis and have
Let
let
everybody
Mr.
talk,
Sis
and then
talk.
I don't want to have to mute anybody. There's a lot of us on there. Let's all talk one at a time, so we're not talking over each other.
So that's my
Then
opening
everybody,
statement.
should act professional if that's what you want to do.
Yes.
Okay, because all I'm hearing now is a bunch of noise. Okay. Okay. All I got to say is, all I heard all year, there's only 2 teams in the SEC. There's only 2 teams in the SEC. Except for Vanderbilt, every SEC team is in a bowl game. That's number 1. Number 2, nobody, excuse me, and that's okay. Nobody in God's creation gave Alabama a shot. I won't mention the guy's name. He texted me. They're going to lose 56-7. That's just totally incredible. But anyway, I'm not going to say nothing about them in Cincinnati. We're going to see when they get on the field. The game, like I was saying last night with the Drew Gibbs thing, the games are won on the field, not with us, not through the media, not through Michael Kay, not through Stephen A. Smith. All these experts, Herb Herbstreit said there's no way Alabama's going to beat Georgia. He said that on TV. Tim Tebow, no way Alabama's going to be. Then on Monday, they were all licking their wounds. So that's basically all I got to say.
Let's go to Mr. Clams.
Yeah, and I hope I don't get cut off. I know this is your church, but I'm the Pope right now, okay? And sis, I didn't know you were an SEC fan. I thought you were an Alabama fan.
I am an Alabama fan. You're the one who made the statement. There's only 2 teams in the SEC.
No.
And Alabama.
But no. Kurt says that he said he started off that him and you are SEC fans.
Well, we're SEC guys. SEC guys.
Right.
Wait, no. Wait, you got a team in there?
I'm an Auburn fan.
Okay, because all right, see, I'm a Yankee fan. I'm not an American League East fan. I don't say that. I root for the Yankees, and that's it. So stop rooting for the conferences. Here we go. That's your team. Auburn's your team. Alabama's your team. And Alabama, let me tell you, you're right. Everything you said about them. People did. I picked Georgia too, and you know what? And I said, quarterback and coach are better, and I still went with Georgia because I thought they were going to do damage to the line.
Which
Nick
is fine.
Saban and the quarterback, he did a great job. Here I go. Ready? Here it is. Forget about it now. I want to go. My thing with me, I'm not a fanboy. I don't have a dog in the fight. But when Cincinnati was getting jumped and ganged up on, I stuck up for them because you know why? I did make money with them, and I thought they were a good team. Okay, and all they did all year was win. Well, that's all they did was win every game, and they got by the crooked committee trying to stuff big 10 teams in front of them, booby trapping them, telling them they're not good enough. The media telling them they're not good enough. Everybody telling them they're not good enough. X 200 people, who would they think would win? Beautiful. I would hope you asked them because you know why? All you guys, 200 people, asked them, you guys couldn't pick a crouton out of a Caesar salad, okay? And at Cincinnati, all they did was win. Anybody that was in front of them, they won. And they're a good team. They got 5 guys going to the NFL on that team. And let me tell you another thing. Kurt, you bet against them every week. So you went straight up 0-13 against them.
No, I had them last week.
I'm talking. This is your church, but I'm the Pope right now. And then against the spread, you went 4-9. They kicked your peppers and onions in. That's what they did. So I made money with them. I don't have a dog. I worry about the spreads and I worry about the lines. I'm not the guy say, well, I got to pick this team because they are in the same conference with my team or same division. I don't pick games like that. I go by the spread and the points. That's what I do. I'm a handicapper. That's what I do. And what's his name was right. Rocky Mountain, Rocky Mountain Sports.
Dave. His name is Dave.
Dave was right. He said, hey, listen, Cincinnati didn't play anybody. They caught Notre Dame on a bad day. Dave, this isn't Al Michaels. Do you believe in miracles? It wasn't a fluke. They didn't throw a Hail Mary up at the last minute to win. They weren't the big underdog. They didn't come in through the back door. Dave, you were right. Notre Dame did have a bad day. Cincinnati came through the front door, and they corned beefed the Irish up and down the field, and they won the game. They abused them. They were screaming, "Mama, please tell them to stop." Congratulations, Cincinnati. Like I said every week, I up until that point, I thought that it deserved to be in the top 4, and they're there. Case closed. I made money with them. You lost money with them. Thank you. Congratulations, Cincinnati. Salute.
Mr. Beelan.
So, Clams, you should know this from over the years. Anybody who Kurt bets on, just bet the opposite, because you know you're definitely winning.
But for the record, I had them over Houston because that was a blowout game
Last week, the whole rest of the season,
but
you
it was
thought
a
they were trash.
blowout. But my
I called
point,
them garbage. Every week, garbage.
They are.
Get
Well,
them out of there.
we're going to
You're
see on the
against them.
31st.
No.
Oh, wait, I forgot that. Wait, here's the cherry on top. You keep betting against Cincinnati, Jenny Hoops is going to get the feedy Bronco pajamas again for Christmas. Go get the 3 carats and put it in her ears. Come on, the Diamonds. Come with the Clan Man. Follow me. I'll get you there.
Go ahead,
Listen.
Mr. Beelan.
Listen, the whole, I mean, you can't, none of you guys on this panel should not disagree to this. Georgia was the best team all year. They were romping teams. They weren't just close games. They were romping teams. You know how many close calls we spoke about this? How many times did Alabama had close calls? LSU, Florida, all these other guys.
But John, real quick, I get into it before because this was part of this, and I promise I'll get. But this is the part of the thing. See, you're looking, and you guys are looking and saying they beat a 6-6 Auburn team. They beat a so and so, but Auburn, LSU, and those teams are so much better teams.
I'm comparing Georgia to Alabama. They play the same teams. Okay.
No, they didn't. They didn't play A&M. They didn't play the same teams.
It is what it is. They're not going to play the exact same teams, but they play in the same conference. They play the same. Bama did not look good on defense all year. Sis can even agree to that. They didn't look good. Okay. At the end of the day. So going into the bowl game, yeah, I'm going to pick Georgia. Why would I not pick Georgia? Because they romped teams all year. Okay. Yeah. My score, it was me 56-7. It's a joke. All right. Whatever. But I didn't think they were going to lose the way.
I really think you really thought that was going to happen. To be honest with you.
No.
I really do.
No.
I really do because
I didn't think the game was going to be flopped on how it was. I thought it was going to be a little closer than it was.
It was a woodshed the other way. You were right about that.
Yeah, but I mean,
they got beat. That's it. That's over.
100% they got beat.
Next.
But the thing is with Cincinnati is that a lot of people don't realize this, that they're in a completely different conference. They don't have the money. They don't have the recruiting skills or everything else. So the people that are not giving them respect to go into the playoffs, so be it. But you know what, though? You know who their running back is? Their running back used to be almost a starter at Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Remember, how about the receiver, Pierce?
I'll give you this. They're in the playoffs. Congratulations to Cincinnati. That's all I could say for that. They're in the playoffs. They made it. God bless them.
The only way that, and I'm going to say this, I truly believe Alabama is going to win the game. But if Cincinnati, the only way they're going to come and beat them is if they come out swinging, punching them straight in the throat. Okay, not even the mouth. They're going to come straight in the throat, knocking the air out of them. Okay, that's the only way they're going to do it. The only way they're going to do it. They have to. Desmond Ridder is going to be throwing 60 times for the whole game. He's going to throw for 500 yards.
So wait a minute. So your game plan against Alabama is to just throw it 60 times.
100%.
Well, I watched that movie 2 years ago against Oklahoma, and the score was 57-6. So I don't think they should do that. I don't think they should do that.
Well, you have another
thing. There's always blowouts every year in this championship.
And listen,
the game's in 3 weeks. Worry about it.
You know what I'm actually looking forward to? I'm actually because a lot of people don't realize this either. Cincinnati has 2 of the best corners in the league in the whole college football.
Kobe Bryant.
I want to see Kobe Bryant and what's his name, Ahmad Gardner. I really want to see them. That's going to be my favorite matchup against Williams. I really want to see what they do against that kid because that kid is going to be he's a stud. And
they're going to double team him. What do you think they're going to do? The other kid's hurt. It's common sense.
So it is what it is. I mean, at the end of the day,
exactly.
It is what it is. And if that's your game plan, that's your game plan. But Desmond Ritter's going to come out. He's going to be swinging and throwing the ball, guaranteed. There's no other. You're not gonna run against Alabama. Come on, at the end of the day, you're not winning that way.
Mr. Sid. Well, I watched that movie with Ole Miss, and you don't have Matt Corral, and you don't have Ole Miss's athletes, and that didn't work versus Alabama. So
No,
I don't think it's going to work
exactly.
with the B team trying to do it. Mr.
I
Kirkpatrick.
don't think Matt Corral's that great.
I'm glad you came to me last so I can get my points in. One, I want to go on the record that I did pick Alabama to beat Georgia outright last week because I did say, and I think Sis said Georgia never seen a spread offense. I said they never seen an offense like Alabama. So I was taking Alabama over Georgia.
Or a quarterback
Joey-
like Bryce Young.
Joey Clams always said, Alabama hasn't had a big win. Well, take away Clemson and Georgia hasn't had a big win. So I was all on Alabama last week. That being said, I'm going to be a realist. Okay, out of the 3 teams besides Cincinnati I do not want to face Alabama in the first round because you're giving the best coach in college football that I've seen in my life a month to prepare for a team like Cincinnati, meaning it's not their rival Georgia. It's not,
Right.
Cincinnati, they're getting a month to prepare for Cincinnati. That's going to spell trouble, okay? But I will say this. Let's wait a month. We got a month to the game, see what the outcome is, and then we'll see who was right, who was wrong. If it's a blowout, I'll be on the air, first one on the air, saying I was wrong. I'll have a sign behind me. Overrated Cincinnati. But if it's the other way around, I expect the same thing on that green screen from Mr. Valente.
Yes, sir. But here's the thing.
Okay.
There's
And here's
no
my last thing, changing. That's all I had on Alabama and Cincinnati. But I will say one thing. And Mr. Beelan's going to agree with me on this because he was involved in that text message. Houston is trash. Well, guess who they're playing in the bowl game?
but Kenny,
I don't want to hear but
Kenny,
they don't care.
but
Houston's trash. They should beat them with their JV team.
Kenny, it started
simple,
already.
Kurt.
It started already. You're not going to have their corner playing. The kid from
There's the
Oregon's
excuses
not
already,
playing.
but the team is trash. It's a JV team.
They are trash, Kenny. They are
Houston's a
trash.
JV team.
They-
Auburn
The
should
dog
beat
ate
them
my
by
homework.
30.
They're terrible. But my point is this, and we're going to break this game down in the next couple of weeks, but Mark is saying Alabama, Michigan in the finals. But Mark, I can speak for Mark right now. There's no moral victories. I don't want to hear, well, they hung it. There's no hanging in anymore. There's no hanging in. The committee, you wanted the 4 best teams, right? This committee, everybody says the 4 teams who can win the national title. So I don't want to see, well, they were down by 20 and Beelan will say they threw a garbage. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. There's no moral victories. There's no cover the spread.
Kurt, there's not going to be any of that, okay? If they lose, they lose. It's a wrap, okay? But if they win, you know what's going to happen? You two guys, your SEC guys are going to be like, they got lucky. That's what you're going to say. They got lucky.
No.
I guarantee.
Not Sis.
I
not
wouldn't
Sis.
say
Thank
they
you.
got
Maybe not
Thank
sis.
you.
Maybe not sis.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
know Sis won't do that.
But
Whoa, Balin. He's a
Kurt,
big
you're
boy.
already making the excuses
He
for
knows what
Auburn,
he's
so
at.
I don't know if you would
Thank
make
you.
that excuse.
I'm not.
Thank you.
I'm gonna. Brian Murray saying, bottom line, Bama is built for this part of the season. Georgia was exposed.
Of course.
Michigan can't throw downfield, and Cincy. I love the Cinderella story, but it's run its course. Depth kills Cincinnati. Too many horses on Alabama.
Another coach right there talking.
You know,
how did it run its course? There's 13-0 in the playoffs.
But again,
They got to play the game.
right, you're right. They gotta play the game.
gotta play the game.
I just think personally, I think it's going to be at least a 3-4 touchdown win. It's going to get there, and then you're going to hear people and little teams are never going to get back in the tournament,
If
and
Cincinnati,
that's what it's going to be.
If Cincinnati wins this game, I'm retiring from the K&K Sports Show, and I want to collect my pension.
Okay. Well, just so we know, everybody in the audience knows, here's the wager that we made, Joey Clams. And I'm not sure if Sis is part of this. We'd have to go back and look, but I know I am part of this, Joe. Okay? The wager was Mr. Kirkpatrick basically force-fed Mr. Beelan in. Like he just like last year, Beelan reeled Kenny in with the Notre Dame rematch on Clemson. This year, Kenny sucked Beelan into this one. But our bet was Cincinnati has to, if Cincinnati won if they got in and won the first round matchup, regardless of who they played, if that happened, I had to buy Mr. Kenny a jersey, I have to buy Mr. Beelan a football jersey, and I have to eat some Pocky chip. But if Cincinnati gets beat by whoever they played, Mr. Valenti receives a jersey from Mr. Beelan. Mr. Kirkpatrick has to give Mr. Valenti a jersey, and they both have to eat Pocky chips or whatever on the air. So that was the wager.
You're right.
It wasn't if they
That's the
played
wager.
because they thought they were going to sneak and play somebody else, like in Oklahoma. But hey,
I'm cool with the jersey. I'm not doing the chip.
Okay,
I did the chip.
Mr. Kirkpatrick,
Hey,
you officially in.
just for the record, I just want to make it clear again. I'm not a fanboy or on the high five crowd and with the carnival barkers. I go week by week, and it's all about the
But
numbers.
wait a minute, I gotta call
and all I
you
said,
out.
I just want to make it clear.
But time
All
out, I
said
gotta call you
All I
out.
said all years is that at that time they deserve to be in there.
Okay,
and
but
that's it. I made my money with it. You lost. You got your peppers and onions kicked in.
I gotta call you out because you said I was jumping out this window. Make sure you have stuff on the floor. Then you said to me, Alabama has no victory, no big time. Who'd they beat?
All right,
so
hold
now,
on. Okay,
Cincinnati.
What'd you say
said,
about number one? No. You said I was going to jump out your window,
right?
And I says I would be okay because all the tickets that you had to rip up, I'll have
Right,
a
you were
nice
gonna
cushion
throw
to
'em.
land on. So let's get the story.
But let
there
me ask
straight
you this.
there.
Don't worry about December 31st, 3 more weeks. You said the most impressive victory this year was Cincinnati beating Notre Dame. So why wouldn't you just say outright since he's beating Bama? What changed your mind? Why would you change your mind?
Why I didn't change my mind. I'm not up into that game yet. It's 3 weeks away. If the game is tomorrow, I'll make a play on it.
Because I know Beelan and Kenny, there's no way they can go on here tonight.
You want to skate? You listen. You were with the. You were like you made Cincinnati out to be Frankenstein. You were right with the sticks and the flames, the fire chasing.
Listen, I'm still after Lane Kiffin. I'm still after Lane Kiffin. I mean,
13 weeks you lost.
By his comment 2 minutes ago,
betting against Cincinnati.
But there's no way.
I won.
See,
I won. I made money with them. That's all.
But I would
about.
look bad. I would look bad if I was on air right now and I said, I'm picking Cincinnati. SEC, Cincinnati's a fraud. There's no way in the world I could go on this show and say Cincinnati's going to beat Alabama. I don't have to ask Sis. I know where he's going to go. But I know there's no way Beelan and Kenny could turn around and say Alabama's going to beat Cincinnati. You can't. You said the SEC stinks. There's no teams, you two guys. There's Cincinnati can beat anybody. They're undefeated. You two have to pick them. And Joey, I think you're going to. Joey, this is your baby, Cincinnati.
You can't.
No. Again, you know what? Take the Broncos and their War Eagles out of your ears. I says every week, it's week to week. The only thing I jumped in is when they were getting attacked because I'm sticking up for them. And then all I said, every week they belong in the top 4, and they did. And I was right. They made it to the top 4. So and what we're going to do when the game comes up, I'm going to handicap.
Okay, so right now, we're going to make official plays
I'm not a
down the road.
Don't put me in with you guys.
Okay.
I'm not with the crowd. I'm not that guy.
But Beelan, are you officially going on air tonight, Beelan, saying Cincinnati will beat Alabama?
Yes.
Okay.
I have no problem sticking to that, and I have no problem next week saying that I was wrong about it.
Mr. Kirkpatrick, are you agreeing and going right out right now saying Cincinnati will beat Alabama?
I go for the record. I'm going to go Cincinnati because that's who I got the bet on. But that's the team I would not want to face if I was Cincinnati. But I got to be a man of my word, like you were a man of your word with Bergen Catholic
and Bosco,
high school football.
Because Beelan texted me every day, every week.
I got to be a man of my word and pick Cincinnati. I got to pick them. So I got to be a man of my word.
Okay, so we'll give Joey to the 31st to see where he's going to go with that game.
You know what? Here, I don't want. Listen, if the game was, if I had to pick the game right now and the game was this week, what's the spread?
No, but no spread. We're going straight out winner. No spread.
I think it's. Hold on.
Listen, well, here, I'll hold time out. If it was right, I think it's 14 and a half, whatever it is. I'll put like a nickel. I'll put a nickel on Cincinnati plus the 14, and I'll sprinkle 200 on the money line.
I'll say this. Look, I'll say this. It's 13
What are
and
you
a half.
putting up there, big boy? What'd you put up on against Cincinnati, or you lost?
I won with Cincinnati versus Houston. I just told you that.
Hold on.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's 13 and a half right now. And honestly, I think the only reason it's 13 and a half is because they blew out Georgia. If that game was much closer than it was and not so high, I bet you would have been right now like 9.5, 10.
Okay, my last.
Bill, and you know why they're making it like that? Because of all the squares and the Joes. That's what they've seen. They've seen the blowout. So they could get away with making that line high because the public is so many people gambling now because it's legal everywhere. You're going to get more of the squares betting, so they could get away with putting a line like that up there.
But let me ask you something. Every time, besides an SEC team, right? And this is true. The Oklahomas, the Oregons, and then anytime, I mean, we never had a smaller team, but when they face these teams in the in these playoffs, they've been absolute destructions. So
every year.
So this is your blowout. When you're saying white 14, I mean, there's going to be people throwing a mortgage on this. I mean, it's Alabama versus Cincinnati. The committee.
How much you putting on them? How much you betting?
I don't know right now what I'm betting on them. I'm betting Alabama. I could tell you that right now. And
so, but you're saying they were garbage, so you got to at least throw at least 3,000 on them. It's a lock, right?
It's a lock. Yeah, it's going to be a lock.
So
yeah.
put everything. Go inside.
Let me ask this.
Go dig up the coffee cans at Mr. Valenti's backyard.
Mr. Sis, let me ask you this. And again, this isn't your official pick, but right now, if you had to say, what does Alabama beat Cincinnati?
Listen, to be honest with you, I can't bring my level of coaching skills and everything down to this whole conversation tonight. That's my answer.
But I'm saying,
and I will say this though. Joey Clams did make and he was right. He made the statement that Cincinnati would get in. I give him 100%. Okay, but he's a gambler. He bets. He's gonna bet what if it's 14 or if it's 19. He's not putting $500 on no money line on Cincinnati. Don't fool yourself.
Right.
I ain't buying that.
Right.
I didn't say that. Either. I never said that.
No, I didn't say you did. All I'm saying is you're not.
I said $500. I never said that.
But he never said that, sis. But you know what? To defend Joey,
you just did.
But sis,
I said you're not doing that.
But wait,
I'm gonna put 200 on them on the money line. I'll put like 600-700 up with the points. But if I had a bet now, hold on. I said if I had a bet it right now. That's all I said. If I had a bet right now.
But sis, you know what, sis? We're attacking Joey Clams, and we should.
I'm not attacking anybody.
No. But I'm saying
I made money, bro.
No, we shouldn't.
I got the bankroll on Cincinnati.
The two guys that should be throwing the $500 on the Cincinnati or Beelan and Kenny, because all year Alabama's junk. Cincinnati should be Cincinnati should beat them this year.
I never said
the conversation is gone.
I've never said Alabama's junk.
Leave me out of it.
Yeah, this is played out. This is enough of this.
All year, this needs to go to the next subject. All year long, Georgia was the better team. Everybody on this panel could agree that. They were the best team all year until last week.
Right.
And they're not the best team anymore. So what's the argument? I don't understand it. It's over. They got beat. Yeah. They're not number one anymore. Live with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Good. Well, then good. Let's move on to something else.
Mark's saying he loves it. First take getting out of hand. Skip. All right, Kenny, where do you want to go the rest for college football?
Let's move on.
Let's do our predictions, and then we're going to have to move on to baseball, guys. We got Daniel waiting in the waiting.
What predictions of this game?
For Georgia, Cincinnati, and Michigan, Georgia. Let's do our predictions. Who's going to be in the final real quick. I'm going to have to go Cincinnati. I'll say they pull off the upset, 27-24. And then the other game, I'm going to go Georgia over Michigan by about the same score. Joey.
I mean, this is premature. right now. I mean, just going out of the win. I mean, I'm not going to put my rep on the line right now and have people go out there and put any money on it. Don't talk, but I would take the 2 dogs right now if I had to plus the points.
Elon.
I'm taking Cincy. I'm actually going to go with Michigan. Hot hand right now. Georgia got blown out, so.
Kirk.
I'm going to take the 2. I know, sorry, Mark, but I'm going to take the 2 SEC teams. They're the 2 best teams in the country, Georgia, Bama.
Rematch, and we won't do our finals pick yet.
Right.
Until, but insist.
Personally, I think it's going to be Alabama and Michigan. I think Michigan beats Georgia.
Fair enough. Anything else, guys?
Anything else? College football, Kenny?
College football. I know we will have some more fun. We'll have a college. We're doing college football preview tomorrow.
Bowl preview.
With Sis, Clams, and Carson. And Beal, if you're around, you want to comment in. We're going to pick a lot of the games.
So tomorrow, I can't. I got an appointment. I can't make it.
Okay,
All
right, we'll get your picks though, Joe. We're gonna break that. We're gonna try to do. We're gonna do every game once it's that weekend. Like next Friday they start. Next Thursday we're gonna pick all the weekend's games up until Thursday.
And Kurt, I got an NFL game. I want to give it out tonight, but you tell me when you want me to give it out.
Give us your bets tonight, Joe, real quick. If you're not going to be on tomorrow's show, give us your best bets.
Give it to us now, Joe.
San Francisco 49ers. They were a 2.5-point dog. Got them +1, but they moved. Now their favorite one. If you could get them on, put them on the money line. 49ers over the Bengals. That's a big play.
Okay.
I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna share it with tomorrow as well.
Okay.
Anything else for Beelan and Clams, guys?
Again, real quick, Joey, what's your thoughts on Cristobal going to? I know you're not high on him coaching, but after the 2 games versus Utah, but what's your thoughts on him going to Miami?
never was high on him. Very bad game manager, great recruiter.
Yeah,
he'll go down there and recruit. That's the thing in college football. There's not too many good head coaches calling the X's and O's. It's a more recruiting thing. It's more of a recruiting, these coaches. There's only a handful of good X's and O coaches. Most of them are recruiters. So he's going to do a good job of recruiting, trying to keep those kids in state. And but as an X and O guy, he's terrible.
Beelan, what's your thoughts on it? You like that move from Miami or no?
No.
And let me ask you this: did it scare you a little by seeing what Utah did to them in the regular season, and then with Utah they come back 2 weeks later and they get even more embarrassed in the Pac-12 championship game?
I mean, listen, Utah's underrated, man. I think if they can get a couple of good recruitments, they could be a top 10 team next year.
But you don't like the move.
They're very young, John.
Yeah, young. Yeah, I don't like the move. And honestly, I mean, I don't know what's up with your Clemson boys next year, but they lost their offense coordinator and a defense coordinator.
Yep. And that defensive coordinator, we said before, he's going to be a good coach in Oklahoma, man. He waited for his job, and it's his first head job. And, listen, the last couple of years, Oklahoma's defense has been horrendous, and we'll see if he turns that around. I think he could. I think he's that good of a coach.
Hey, Kurt, one more thing with Christopher. He played for Miami.
Yes.
So the boosters down there, they're going to sweeten the pot. So that's what I'm talking about. It's going to do it. It's about recruiting. It ain't about coaching in college football.
Yep.
I'll just add Cristobal because I'm the Miami fan. I think he's a great recruiter. So he better get a good coaching staff to coach with him, and they'll be successful. But if he doesn't get any, it's all about going to be his assistant coaches. That's what I'll say about Miami. He's in an ACC. He's good recruiter in my opinion. Get the Florida kids. Win the state of Florida. We'll see.
All right.
All right, guys. I want to thank you both for joining us tonight. We're going to move on to some baseball. I got Daniel, our intern, waiting for come in patiently about the Mets, John. So you might want to comment in on that.